Hey, welcome to Living the Logic. This is Manish Narayan, and today we're going to continue our flow with Python and talk about control flow and conditionals. All right. So the goal is to learn how to make decisions in Python using if statements, else if statements, and else statements. All right. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is create a new file in our Python dev folder. So I'm going to go over here, click on the new file icon. We'll call this conditionals .py, okay, and we can start a fresh file here. All right. So what is control flow? So control flow, it's used to make a decision in our code. All right. If it rains, then we open an umbrella. If it's if it's sunny, then we close the umbrella. So we can start to use decisions in our code. All right. And in the real world, these types of decisions and control structures start to get complicated, and again, you have to practice, right? And once you practice, you get better and better at converting real life business logic into your Python code. Okay. So let's start with if and else statements. All right. So let's start with a simple if statement. All right. So what I'm going to do is use the built-in keyword in Python. Notice the built-in keywords turn purple, so I can say if. Okay. Let's say it's 5 greater than 3. Okay. I'm going to print out, if 5 is greater than 3, I'm going to print out 5 is greater than 3. All right. So let's save this and run this file. So I'm going to type in Python on my terminal, and the name of the file is conditionals.py. Okay. So let's see if it works. Did it print it out? Yes, it's printed out here. 5 is greater than 3. Okay. So basically what's happening is if is a reserved keyword in Python. Okay. You can't use it as a variable. It turns purple. So what it's doing is Python checks, is the 5 greater than 3? The greater than operator is being applied here. Is 5 greater than 3? Yes, that's true. So notice that this whole statement turns true. So now if this statement is true in the conditional, it will execute anything after this colon here. So it will execute the next line here. So print 5 is greater than 3. Okay. All right. That's called an if statement. All right. So now let's try a basic else statement. So we can say now if, let's say 2 is greater than 3, we'll print 2 is greater than 3. Okay, now we can use else. Well, if else, so we can say else print 2 is not greater than 3. Okay, so let's see what happens in this case. So we now have something called an if-else statement. It first checks the if statement. If this statement is true in the if condition, it will immediately print out the statement 2 is greater than 3, and then it'll ignore the else statement and continue the flow of code. Okay. Now, if this is false, well, we know 2 is not greater than 3. If it's false and there's an else condition, it will execute whatever's in the else condition. So what we're expecting here is when the program runs, the Python file runs, we should see the output as 2 is not greater than 3. So let's go ahead and run that. Perfect. It says 2 is not greater than 3, which is correct. Okay. All right. Now, what if we run into, you may have a question where you ask, we have multiple conditions that we want to check. All right. So there's else if statement. All right. It's called elif. Okay. So let's try that. So let's say we declare a number equal to 10, integer 10. Okay. And assign it the value of 10. So let's run a if check. So if num is greater than 20, let's say, okay, we're going to print greater than 20. Okay. Now, if we have 3 conditions, I can use an else if. I can say elif, okay, number equals 10, right? Elif number equals 10. We can print equal to 10. Okay, and then finally we end it with an else statement, and we say print less than 10. Okay, so it's either greater than 20 equal to 10 or less than 10. So let's save this and see what happens. Well, before it runs, let's logically walk through it. Num equals 10. Is num greater than 20? Is 10 greater than 20? False. This thing is false, so it goes to the else if. Is 10 equal to 10? Oh, that's true. So immediately run the statement that's after this else if colon here. So it should print out equal to 10. It should skip the else condition. Okay, so let's try that. Perfect. Equal to 10. All right, so it did print out the else if statement here. Okay, all right. So those are basic conditionals. All right. Now let's talk about a little bit of logical operators. Okay, logical operators. All right. So we can combine different conditions. Right now we had one condition, right? Like num greater than 20, num equal to 10, 2 greater than 3. That's just one condition, right? Now if we want to combine multiple conditions and using logical operators, let's show an example of that, right? So let's say if 5 is greater than 3, we can use an AND keyword. Again, this is a built-in keyword, and 10 is greater than 5. Let's print out both conditions are true. Okay, so let's see if that works. Will that work? Well, is 5 greater than 3? Yes, that's true. Is 10 greater than 5? Yes, that's true. And it means if both the conditions here are true, then the whole if condition is true. Okay, so let's run this on our command line or our terminal. Okay, so notice it prints out both conditions are true. Perfect. Okay, all right. So let's try to use what we've learned, and we can build a simple number checker. Okay, simple number checker program. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to say now num. Let's declare a variable num equals int. Okay, input. And this is a function that takes input from the keyboard, okay, from the user's keyboard. I will say enter a number, okay, and in this case, I will end it with double parentheses closed. Notice we have, be careful here, we're taking the input, which is a function, okay, and we give it a prompt here, which is enter a number. It's going to ask the user enter a number, and then whatever the number is that the user enters, it comes in as a string. Remember we had that data type string? Well, we need to cast that or type convert it to an integer and store it or assign it to the variable called num. Okay. Now let's run our if-else checks. So we can say if num is greater than 0, we could print out positive number. Okay. And then we can do an else if, so elif, and we can say if else if num is less than 0, then we know it's a negative number. Okay. And then finally else, well, if it's not greater than 0 and not less than 0, it must be 0, right? So we can print out 0. Okay. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's run it and see what happens. Okay. Oh, I forgot a. Now notice I forgot a colon here, and if I see this little red mark here, the Visual Studio Code is telling me, hey, expected a colon. There is a problem here. So let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, we'll go ahead and fix that and save it. Let's run our code here. All right, notice at the prompt it says enter a number on the terminal. So let's start with a number that's positive. So we'll enter a number. Let's just say it's 25. Okay, and perfect. It says 25 is a positive number. So what did it do? It took 25 as a string here, converted it to an integer, assigned it to num. Then it checked the conditional, is 25 greater than 0? That is true. That means it printed out positive number. All right, let's rerun the program and try to hit the negative number. So let's enter a number. We'll call it negative 10. Or let's make it negative 5. Okay, oh, there we go. It says negative number. So what did it do? It skipped this if condition because negative 5 is not greater than 0, but negative 5 is less than 0. So it printed out negative number. It's done with the if-else condition. It doesn't execute anything else within this if-else condition. Okay. So let's run it one more time, and we will try to make the output read as 0. So what do we need to enter? Well, we need to enter 0. And there we go. We get the final output. So this is our simple number checker algorithm here. Again, feel free to play with this, change it around, and have fun with it. So thanks for watching. We covered conditionals, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. See you next time.